first player, and I will introduce him in the top right, representing Mouse Sports. He is the red Terran player from Germany. He's a big, tall boy. It's HeRoMaRinE. 4-0 currently.
Ooh, tearing it up. And his opponent is down in the bottom left, representing Terran. It is ziGGy.
Good save.
And you mentioned a tale of two players. You couldn't put it better. These two players are in completely different situations in the group, mirror opposites.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the tale of Group C has been a tale of 2-0s. Mm-hmm. Every single match has been a 2-0 out of how many matches played? Is that?
Yeah.
That's 16. 8 matches played? 16?
All right. I'm just agreeing. I'm just saying yes and trusting you.
Yeah. It's 8 matches played. Yeah. Every single one been a 2-0. And I mean, if I was a betting man, I would say this is a good chance of following this trend.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Fortunately, ziGGy, he actually didn't even plan to qualify. If I were to be honest with you, ziGGy last time did all the social media for this event. He was the guy who made all the memes on the DreamHack StarCraft 2 Twitter. So he's a player who's... He's an interesting player. He's very much known to make Reapers. That's kind of his thing. But he's not playing full-time now. He plays this and Brood War at a very, very high level. He's also a social media guy, as we said. I'm working pretty hard along those. But I have to say, ziGGy's a very good friend of mine. Got something in my throat. There we go. I cleared it. It was a bit of bacon. It is. He's a very good friend of mine. He wants to do what he can. He's been on Twitter sort of memeing about his results and things. And like, oh, you know, I'm just losing to give everyone a false sense of security. And he's very, 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 very cheeky. He's not going to play like completely standard, you know, 1-1-1 in this matchup. We've already seen so far he did go for that 2 racks expand build. So we are seeing Gabe a little bit scared. He's seen nothing because there was a full wall. He's actually going for an expansion on the high ground. And ziGGy not overly committing to this pressure. Of course, his tech is behind. But, you know, he might be able to get a small lead from this, especially if his Reapers can find something.
Yeah, he's gonna be definitely looking to do so. HeRoMaRinE, he is like the textbook safe player, and this is the kind of thing that he's gonna be prepared for. He's gonna be looking out for, especially as you mentioned, ziGGy, big fan of Reapers, loves them. Mm-hmm. I do like this decision though. So right now he's just kind of setting up, hoping his opponent pushes into him, which might actually happen, and he might get a good fight. But yeah, 3rd command center behind us. Now, is this going to work out for HeRoMaRinE? Ooh, Reaper for Reaper to start things off. Nice grenades from HeRoMaRinE, and the Hellion goes down.
It's very close when all is said and done. If this last Reaper gets out, and it looks like it won't, ziGGy might have been happy there if he could have... He killed 1 Hellion. He's kind of kept a lot of pressure off of him. My concern right now is that he doesn't actually really have any units out. He's going to have to get a couple here because he did go free CC. And does Gabe see that? Yes. Gabe sees that now, and he'll be really, really, really annoyed. Because he hasn't really got any pressure coming. You can see now he's going to try and work away at the concussive shells upgrade, which is... This is already very weird TVT stuff fast.
Oh, that is super weird. I'm really curious about this. This can lead into mech. I don't think we're going to see mech.
Oh, yes.
But you can go mech with this. But I think this is just a matter of, like, he just wants to not die, and he wants to try and get a catch on a couple of these units, and he will get the Hellion, which is...
Nice.
It's better than nothing.
Oh, yes.
I actually think he could have escaped if he had continued going to the right.
Oh, he's going to get a Reaper as well now, but it looks of it. Nope, grenades, too good. So what's Gabe's option here? He's moving across the map. I think there might be a medevac about to drop into the main here of ziGGy. Yeah, that is a Cyclone and 4 Marines. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to deal with here because right now, unfortunately, ziGGy is very out of position. You're going to see the SCVs get pulled. ziGGy needs to get the rest of his units out here. He's going to be trickling in Marines 1 or 2 at a time out of those barracks, but he's going to lose a few workers here, which is not ideal. There's no stim, of course, to chase this down. Cyclone going down, though, kind of killed a lot of that pressure, but 6 SCVs.
Yeah, that was and that wasn't even with HeRoMaRinE target firing as well as he could have. He got a lot of damage done there, and it could have been so much worse. But as it is, already a great position for him.
Yeah.
Losing that Cyclone, not optimal, but not that bad. Not that bad.
No, I agree. He did go triple CC as well, right? So losing a few SCVs, okay, he's going to be able to produce them so quickly, and get back up to count here because has Gabe even started his third CC yet? No, Gabe's going to be going for a big push by the looks of things. Oh no, he has. I'm just dumb. So his third one about halfway done. We do have this Raven coming in as well. This harassment can be annoying. The drop has come back into the main as well, and that's going to get a couple of kills here. I think we're going to see that missile turret, that auto turret get dropped down. There's a couple of things here to defend, including a Marauder with concussive shells. So not bad. 3 more workers go down, as we said. ziGGy's going to be able to produce those workers very, 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 very quickly off of 3 CCs, and that should be pretty decent.
Yeah, absolutely will. It is going to be just that bio play out of ziGGy. He is going to move out with a real weird piecemeal army.
Yeah.
1 Marauder left over from earlier, and he's going to have stim with this. He's going to have concussive shells, which is very funny. No combat shields, but this could get a little bit done if he can get unloaded in the main base. The problem is, HeRoMaRiNE's already got a tank that fully covers the main base. Second one covers the majority of all but basically that entire right side. I don't think this is going to work too well.
No, I mean, there's 3 tanks up in the main right now. If he can get on top of one of them, that's nice. Maybe he can use the tanks to kill a few SCVs here, but immediately you're going to see the tank of ziGGy start to go down. Those auto turrets coming down as well. I'm just going to mean the defense really isn't too tricky for HeRoMaRiNE. If ziGGy can save most of his units, that would be nice, but he didn't manage that. Thirds are landing for both now, but ziGGy isn't even an SCV lead. He's in a great place. Upgrades will be favoring Gabe, as he is getting 2. Right now, Gabe doesn't have stim or anything. There's a very, very, very slight window of opportunity, I think, for ziGGy. But it's really slight, because Gabe's stim and combat shield is getting closer and closer. ziGGy's going to hit very shortly with concussive shell, stim, and combat shield. If he can get on top of the tanks, maybe, but it's a hell of a maybe.
Yeah, and I think that stim for Big Gabe is going to be done in time. He's got an army supply lead. He's got tanks set up. He's going to have a, sensor tower finishing up at about the perfect time for him. Yeah. Basically, just as these tanks are going to try and move in. And it's important to note, air superiority. It's only 2 Vikings, but the 2 Ravens are the big deal right here. And
they got a lot of energy.
Immediately. Well, they have, each of them has enough for an interference matrix or potentially 2 auto turrets.
We got a little bit of a ring around the roses here, as both players actually going to go around to the other side. But this is what HeRoMaRiNE is so good at. He's got a big army, he's going to bring it together, and he's just going to go. This is kind of what he does, a sort of 8-minute HeRoMaRiNE TVT push, where he just has so many units. And it's very difficult to deal with, and we can see ziGGy was kind of caught with his pants down in the middle of the map, and now he's been forced to bring his army home instead of going for a base trade. We see that interference matrix. I mean, those SCVs just melted, 24 dying in a heartbeat. The only way ziGGy wins now is if he kills all of his army without losing much of his own, and unfortunately for him, it's going to be extraordinarily difficult, as he's already taken a 50 supply deficit.
Yeah, and auto turrets blocking the flank from coming in. Tanks shelling away, killing one of the tanks of ziGGy. This is just way too much. And HeRoMaRiNE shows up big time in game number 1. Decisive win. Yeah. And it's, like I said, kind of an expected value, but it's still good to see Big Gabe just looking like Big Gabe, looking very much on form.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Steadfast. It was very much, Gabe dealt with the weirdness very well. I liked his Cyclone for Marine drop. It's not necessarily an uncommon thing to do, but to go, okay, there's a window of opportunity after he killed those Reapers in the middle of the map, and to take that was pretty nice. So I think ziGGy needs to keep it weird once again. I know ziGGy quite well, and he can get a little bit emotional, and he can get a bit frustrated, and he's been very, very well known after losing a game to Proxy, and to try and get a quick win. He is currently 0-5 in maps now, and will be looking to get one of them on the board. I'd rather not, Mr. Referee, play against Big Gabe. He doesn't want to see any of that. But we'll be getting into our map 2 very soon. It's going to be Romanticide. Map we've actually not seen quite as much of as some of the others.
Yeah, definitely not as much. It's still more common than,
Beckett.
Beckett Industries. Yep.
Beck who?
Uh, don't get to see that very often these days, but it has, considering it's probably the most balanced map at this point. I would expect to see it in almost every series. Same thing with 2000 atmospheres. I'd be feeling like one or the other. But yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen it even more than we have.
I agree with you. It feels like quite a lot of the time it's been kept as sort of a third map in a best of three, and we've had a lot of 2-0s. So hopefully we will get to see a third map today as we load in to Romanticide, and I find the very talented cameraman that we have here, Steadfast. Of course, guys, this is DreamHack Masters Fall 2021 StarCraft 2, and our player in the top left, currently teamless. He is the blue Terran player from Poland. It's ZiGGy.
And his opponent, spawning down in the bottom right, representing Mouse Sports. It is Big Gabe. HeRoMaRinE.
Ginormous. I like that ZiGGy has changed the capitalization in his name. He told me about it and he was really proud of it. I talked to him a lot. He watches, he's a big World of Warcraft player. He just did a very, very large World of Warcraft event, and he was talking to me throughout and sort of giving me honest criticism as someone who's watched a lot of my work. And he was, when he discovered, he was like, how did I not figure this out before? But going for the GG in the middle capitalized, pretty good. Unlike 12-year-old girl HeRoMaRinE capitalizing every other letter. I'm not a big fan of that one.
The funny part is that's actually it's actually old capitalization, I think, because if you look at his name, it's just the H and the M. But I think it's been like that for so long that people are just like, no, this is what it is now.
Yeah, like I like it the way that it is in game, just capital H, capital M. That's good. That's professional. Yeah. That's marketable. We have no proxy. I thought ZiGGy might consider it, but he is actually playing 1-1-1 this time, double gas. This is a very standard opening from the Polish Terran player. HeRoMaRinE always going to scout, because if you're Gabe, you're probably pretty confident in a mid or late game here. The early games where things can be spicy, you can lose in a build order, counter. Not happening this time. ZiGGy, I believe, are playing completely blind, which is interesting. We don't see a huge amount of completely blind in mirror matchups, but that is what he is going for here. I mean, you need to, when you're playing against a player of Gabe's caliber, who has currently not dropped a map, you need to cut a corner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in the last series, he cut enough corners that it was almost round with that super fast third CC, but you got to be careful. Eventually, Big Gabe.
That was really good. That was really good. I can't get past this now. I think we might need to talk about this. That's so good. I'm going to steal that, and I'm not going to give you credit, so I just thought I'd let you know in advance. Like, when I'm doing another event 2 years down the line and you hear that, that's I'm giving you the credit now, okay? I'll PayPal you.
Perfect.
Expansion down for Gabe.
You know what's funny? Like, I'll hear that. I'll be listening to that broadcast, and it'll be like, wow, that's really good. Like,
yeah,
I feel
you'll
like
do the same as I just did.
I'll just have no idea that it was me who came up with it 2 years ago. I'll be like, oh man, like, what a clever lad that Grant is. Like,
I'll end up putting it on like a shirt. Like, I'll become like a billionaire if you're dumb. Well, no, your clever phrase. That's the plan here.
No, you were right the first time there. It's pretty dumb. We should talk about this game, though, a little bit. This is a very aggressive move out of ZiGGy. He has not expanded yet, just going to be getting that now. So what happened here with this build is he kept all of his SCVs on the gases, and he has gone for just mass Reaper Hellion, and it's going to be a medevac. Yeah.
I like this, because if he can get the medevac to unload, maybe Reaper's in the front, medevac's in the back, like a very good mullet, business in the front, party in the back. This could work out. The tanks, of course, are not here yet. The medevac is going to offer a lot. Reaper's already a very tanky unit, especially when there's no like big splash damage. And Gabe has now scouted this, so he's going to get defensive positioning here. This is a really quite scary army, Steadfast.
It is, yeah. You commit a lot to this timing. Oh, the Hellion, it's going to actually temporarily deny that command center. That is really good, but it means it's not at home. Will we see a liftoff to save that Hellion? Oh, no, but a grenade does break the lock on. We see grenades flying out on both sides, but it looks this is going to heavily favor Gabe. Nice lock on break from the Cyclone, but this is just too much on the defense as the tank pops out. And no SCVs go down. That's the big deal.
Yeah, one thing I noticed was that ziGGy actually targeted the command center with one wave of Hellion fire. I mean, he even loses the medevac there. Just a real disaster, if I'm honest with you, here for ziGGy. He does have a Cyclone of his own and will be able to defend at the top of the ramp. Gonna lock onto the Cyclone, may get the kill, will get the kill. That's a nice pickup. His Raven staying alive, his Cyclone staying alive. The Raven here to deal with the tank if it comes too far forward. But the Viking in the air is going to be able to scare that off a little bit too. So ziGGy is able to pick up a little bit of a counter punch, a reverse jab here on HeRoMaRiNE, but the supply kind of telling a bit of the tale here. Tank count is also going to be favoring Gabe. No Raven yet for Gabe. ziGGy actually has 1 and a bit before Gabe will get his first. But again, I mean, look at the SCVs.
Yeah, 10 SCV lead. We are going to see ziGGy slipping past his opponent with this Raven Harass. Going to be able to pick off 3 SCVs right there, which is actually quite nice. Oh, this Marine. Oh, it's got a Death Wish. Ooh. A little bit uncomfortable right there. You never want to see that. But, you know, Marine, like, it probably had a family, but...
Nah.
No, it's fine.
They're taken straight out of high school, like those recruiters come, you can travel the world. Is this a bit real for all of you Americans in chat? Pushing my luck today. Raven coming in once again, probably going to drop that auto turret, but one will go down defensively in order to push that back as well. It might get an SCV or 2 here. Gabe's actually not going to pull, which I'm really surprised by, because this gets like 5 kills, I think? 4, because the tank shows up. That's now closer to evening up the SCV count. We're only now at 4 difference when we were at 10 a moment ago. Now, ziGGy's going to struggle to push in here. There are 2 tanks. He doesn't have 2 interference matrices, but one of them is not sieged up. Okay, it's going to get an opportunity to do so. But he's finding some decent damage. It feels like in the last minute or so, ziGGy's played some really good StarCraft. He's harassing well. He's a little supply box, but we don't see that. It's going to break before the next units get made. Watch this. Oh, perfect play. Literally optimized. He's starting to get his tank count to a healthy number. He's at 3, only 1 behind right now. Raven count, he's going up to 2 now as well. eBay's coming down. Upgrades completely even. No one started anything just yet. But we're moving into a pretty okay mid game here. Reaper, if this gets an SCV kill, get the one build in the command center. Okay.
Oh. He is going to get 1. Oh, and the SCVs, with the help of the tank, Citizen's Arrest, plus, like, superheated shells to the face, you know? This is cool, though. We are seeing mech out of ziGGy.
Yes!
Oh, man,
I
love it so much.
Yeah, and it's just not as common as it once was in TVT. There was a small period of time in the meta where you could do either. ziGGy is always the kind of player who's going to do things a little off kilter, a little off meta here. And that's exactly what he's going for. And Mech, if Gabe isn't practiced against it, maybe it catches him a little bit scared. The tanks right now are not in a great position, though. This one is just driving to its death. Those pilots just suicidal. We're going to see those auto turrets coming down right now. The Ravens of HeRoMaRiNE, actually one goes down immediately, but he just doesn't have the tanks in position here. ziGGy is going to be forced to retreat with his 3rd base. I do think he'll be able to clean this up. And playing Mech, if he can just like push this back slowly but surely, he can be pretty happy. The air units, it looks like superiority is in favor of HeRoMaRiNE still, but ziGGy has 2 Ravens to HeRoMaRiNE's 1. He's going to be able to drop interference matrices very soon and maybe clean this up. Hopefully clean this up.
Yeah, he needs to, because he needs that 3rd base. Ooh, Raven, 1 Raven on each side does go down. Still a small Viking lead, but in terms of at the actual fight, it's 4 versus 4 with more HP for ziGGy. Oh, yeah, until the lock-on comes in.
That one Cyclone, very annoying here. Oh, those tanks making moving maybe a little bit too far forward, and that is air superiority. As we said, 2 tanks just died to 1. That's always nice when you get a buy one, get one free, but maybe ziGGy moves a little bit too far forward. It looks like he will eventually clean this up, question mark. Tanks being repaired here, trying to stay alive. These Vikings have free reign. There's nothing to kill them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he can just land here.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, I would have loved to have seen him land in the actual mineral line.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, my. He just loses 4 of the Vikings. 5 of the Vikings. Does kill 2 tanks, but that's actually really, really expensive. And now that gives That gives ziGGy the opportunity to get air superiority again. Oh, the missile turret! All 6 Vikings go. That's actually a huge, huge mistake.
The scary thing, though, for ziGGy is his third is still not up. It's still not established. He's so focused on the fight in the front that you can see, with my very talented assistant is showing us, the third is saturated here for HeRoMaRiNE. His fourth is already on the way. I would have liked to have seen ziGGy maybe try to fly it down south or something. He's going to pull SCVs. He knows he has to break the choke now. Actually, a pretty good job. Only losing 3 so far. If he pulls them back now and gets those tanks sieged up, he'll be able to secure the third base. And the good thing about mech is you just want a turtle, right? We've all seen the streamer who won't be named, who just turtles mech even from behind and can get things into the late game. That's what ziGGy's looking to do here. He's adding on double armories. He's making nothing but tanks. He did make a 4th CC, so he'll be able to get that before too long. And it's going to be up to Gabe to find damage here and not let ziGGy get a hyper late game mech army with good upgrades. And that can be scary, but Liberator's a hell of a good way to do it.
Yes, it is a very good way to do it. It is important to note ziGGy, because he couldn't take that base, never started up additional factories. He's only on 3. Ooh. He is only on 3 factories, while HeRoMaRiNE, he's about to have a finished 4th command center and 8 gases, which is going to allow him, interestingly enough, he's going into additional barracks first, going up to 8 barracks. Yeah. I would have loved to have seen him just go straight into the 3 starports off this, but with his economy as it is, I mean, he can afford both. And there we go. We are seeing that big starport transition coming down as well. And look at this. He's even using the factory to get a tech lab so he can make mass Raven with this. Oh, drop into the main base.
Yeah, dropping the main base here. And the scary thing about mech is you can be vulnerable to in these little pockets, of course, because you can't have tanks everywhere. And sieged up tanks also don't really like to fight in mineral lines because they kill their own workers. We now also have HeRoMaRiNE pushing in with a few Vikings. He's down in numbers, though, so he is going to end up losing all of these Vikings, which I don't love. That's now given, once this one Marine dies, if this one Marine dies, complete superiority to ziGGy in that point. But look how many workers have gone down. I mean, we're talking about small victories here. He's going to need a few more than this. The Vikings going to land here. 2 Vikings should be enough to push this back. Vikings pretty good against Marines. Not a fight you see every day. You can see they do shred through them, and with the Hellion coming in too. It's going to allow ziGGy once again to stabilize, but he is still down in supply. His 4th base still hasn't landed. What does he have all the way up at the north? Like 12
floating barracks.
Just a barracks, just chilling, looking for drops. I like that.
Yep. Why not? Still only 3 factories though, and he has been taking it on the chin this game. Like he is just in a lot of trouble. I feel like if HeRoMaRiNE had kept those Vikings alive, those 6 Vikings,
the game's over.
I honestly think so, yeah, because Liberators at this point, there's no counter. He has nothing that stops him. It's just the Vikings. He can't afford to build Thors. He doesn't have the factory count. He doesn't have the upgrades. I mean, HeRoMaRiNE is still in a hugely advantageous position. He's up 40 army supply. He's getting his 5th base and now 9th and 10th gases before his opponent can unlock those 4th base gases. And I also love this from HeRoMaRiNE as well, taking down these rocks.
More attack paths, right?
Yeah, so good. So good.
Yeah, just speeding up his reinforcements. Gabe always been known to sort of parade, push, and bring his army together constantly. He likes to have one big force that can just take fights. This could be nice here for ziGGy. He is now desperately trying to take his 4th. If he can get his 4th base and get up closer to max supply, I mean, a mech army, you never know. Upgrades-wise right now, both players are only at 1-1. We can see Blue Flame coming in for the Hellions too. All of the tools that ziGGy needs are coming in, but 2-2 is about to finish for Gabe. His army is together, and here comes Big Gabe.
Huge concave, 270 degrees, knocks out all the tanks. Then we do have ziGGy with a couple more tanks on the high ground. Honestly, HeRoMaRiNE can push into that, but he doesn't need to. He's denied the 4th, and that's his objective. That's what he wanted to do. He did it wildly successfully. And yes, the Viking count is still high for ziGGy. How many tanks on the field? Oh, wow, it's actually a lot more than I thought. 8 tanks.
Yeah.
But he's even gonna. Oh, HeRoMaRiNE didn't need to unsiege right there. He would have won the. He would have won that little skirmish.
Yeah.
But Ravens.
Oh, they are flying a little bit too far forward. Of course, those interference matrices are nice. We're still looking at 8 tanks, but they're spread so far apart. Look at those up by the 3rd. If they were in position, maybe things could have been different. But as it is, HeRoMaRiNE takes the 2-0.